96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Canada to deploy ships to Haiti. Prime Minister Trudeau says Navy vessels won't intercept migrants, though. The Canadian PM also announces support to tackle the climate crisis at the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting. And we're discussing the role that a work shortage, or employee shortage, is having on the illegal immigration matter. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, February 17th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning, we'll talk about Great Commission Ministries and the Hope City Project, the goal to build a homeless shelter. We'll get the details on how that's going. That's all straight ahead, but first, it's time for the Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who was a special guest at the 44th regular meeting of the CARICOM Heads of Government, pledging to deploy Royal Canadian naval vessels to Haiti in the face of political and social unrest. Trudeau, speaking during the meeting in Bahamar, saying, quote, "We provided direct support to bolster the Haitian National Police so that Haiti has the tools and support to solve the situation, including deploying surveillance aircraft and vital strategic security equipment and vehicles, and additional delivery of vehicles in the coming days." Trudeau announcing that Canada will deploy the Navy vessels to conduct surveillance, gather intelligence, and maintain a maritime presence off the Haitian coast in the coming weeks. He was asked at a press conference at Atlantis Resort later in the day how ships will be used to stop what is essentially an urban gang combat, and whether they'll be used to intercept migrants. He said the Canadian ships will not be there to intercept migrants, though, but will be used to assist the Haitian National Police in their efforts to control the gang activity. Prime Minister Trudeau also pledging $44.8 million in new funding to tackle the climate crisis in the Caribbean. He says the money will support projects with regional organizations like the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, the Caribbean Biodiversity Fund that will improve marine and coastal ecosystem management, increase water security, and help governments better respond to the impacts of climate change and natural disasters. Passengers aboard a Western Air flight from Nassau to Freeport yesterday had More than a few scary moments as the pilot was forced to return to Lynden Pinling International Airport to avert potential disaster. The Aircraft Accident Investigation Authority saying it was informed of the incident around 7 a.m. involving the Embraer 145 aircraft. It was reported that the flight crew made the decision to return to LPIA after observing an unsafe landing gear indication shortly after takeoff. The pilot successfully executed the landing without further incident, and there were no reported injuries to the 32 passengers or 3 flight crew members. One of the court-appointed joint provisional liquidators overseeing cryptocurrency exchange FTX digital markets saying that the JPLs are exploring the possible resuscitation of the FTX trading platform. On Wednesday, U.S. bankruptcy judge John Dorsey granting the JPL's request for Chapter 15 bankruptcy recognition. Chapter 15 bankruptcy allows U.S. and foreign bankruptcy courts to collaborate when assets are spread over multiple countries. Meanwhile, a federal judge showing growing impatience with FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried and his use of the internet while on bail, suggesting that incarceration might eventually be the most effective way to prevent him from communicating on electronic devices in ways that can't be traced. Judge Lewis A. Kaplan did not immediately change a $250 million bail package that lets Bankman-Fried live with his parents in California while preparing for trial on charges that he cheated investors and looted customer deposits at FTX, his cryptocurrency trading platform. But the judge raised the possibility for the first time that jail might be the only way to ensure Bankman-Fried won't outfox the government with ways to use electronic devices in ways that can't be tracked. A man who stole a $6 pack of hot dog buns from a church will remain in prison after the Court of Appeal upheld his shopbreaking and sacrilege convictions. The Court of Appeal Thursday unanimously rejected an appeal by 41-year-old Elkino Wallace, who was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for stealing the buns. On September 13, 2022, Wallace broke into East Street Gospel Chapel, went to the kitchen of the church's auditorium where he stole the buns. Police met Wallace on the scene after they checked out an alarm activation report. Around 1:30 a.m., he told the officers that he was hungry. 2 days later, at his arraignment before Magistrate Samuel McKinney on September 15th, Wallace apologized for his actions. He claimed that he was on medication to manage an undisclosed medical condition. Wallace did not have a lawyer when he pleaded guilty to the offenses. Before passing sentence, McKinney noted Wallace's criminal history of breaking into buildings, criminal trespass, and vagrancy, and the seriousness of the offenses. At the appeal, his lawyer, Bjorn Ferguson, argued that Wallace's guilty plea was a nullity because the offense of shoplifting did not exist in the penal code. He also contended that the plea was equivocal and that Wallace did not understand the nature of the charges. However, the court found the argument had no substance. And the prosecution believes that a doctor convicted of raping a 20-year-old woman in 2010 should get 15 years in jail. Dr. Gerald Forbes, who is now representing himself, gave Senior Justice Bernard Turner written sentencing submissions. Forbes, who's been in custody since his conviction last September, will learn his fate next month. Prosecutors accused Forbes of forcing himself on the woman after he tricked her into letting him into her office around 7 a.m. on March 9th, 2010. The victim worked in the plaza where Forbes ran his clinic, Carmichael Medical. A few days before the assault, Forbes asked the woman if she could answer phone calls to the clinic when he wasn't there. On the day in question, he came to her workplace to bring the cordless phone. However, once inside, Forbes, who's now 52, allegedly manhandled the woman and raped her in the bathroom. Overseas, nearly 2 weeks after a massive earthquake leveled tens of thousands of buildings and displaced millions of people in Turkey and Syria, many are still struggling to fulfill their basic needs, and some are bedding down in tents, factories, train cars, and greenhouses. People pushed from their homes into the disaster zone described a wide range of conditions, some able to find regular hot showers while others feared freezing to death. The Turkish government and dozens of aid groups have launched a massive relief effort. The government said Wednesday that more than 5,400 shipping containers have been deployed as shelters and over 200,000 tents dispatched. But it's facing a massive disaster. The government says at least 56,000 buildings containing more than 225,000 homes were either destroyed by the February 6th quake or too damaged to be used. There's no official figure for the number of people displaced. On the Turkey side of the disaster, which is home to some 14 million people, or 16% of the country's population. And in some lighter news, Brazil's carnival is back. Glittery and outrageous costumes are once again being prepared. Samba songs will ring out till dawn at Rio de Janeiro's sold-out parade grounds. Hundreds of raucous roaming parties will flood the streets, and working-class communities will be buoyed emotionally and economically by the renewed revelry. The COVID pandemic last year prompted Rio to delay carnival by 2 months and watered down some of the fun, which was attended mostly by locals. This year, Brazil's federal government expects 46 million people to join the festivities that officially begins today and runs through February 22nd. That includes visitors to cities that made Carnival a world-famous bash, especially Rio, but also Sao Paulo and Salvador. The cities have already begun letting loose with street parties. In sports, the C.I. Gibson Rattlers, senior boys, and C.H. Reeves Raptors junior girls sweeping their way to the GSSA, the Government Secondary School Sports Association titles in basketball, winning their respective best of 3 championships at the Kendall Isaacs Gym. The Rattlers senior girls and Essie McPherson Sharks junior boys evened their series at a game apiece to force a decisive third game for each series. In the senior boys division, the Rattlers made light work of the Anatole Rogers Timberwolves, powering their way to a 78-61 victory. The Raptors junior girls were too much for the H.O. Natch Lions as they dominated that game, winning 40-12 to take down the defending champions. The Rattlers senior girls team held off the C.R. Walker Knights 47-40 to live to see another day, and the Sharks did the same in the junior boys division, taking down the 5-time defending champions, the D.W. Davis Royals, 46-41 to extend that series. Game 3 for the 2 remaining series starts at 5 p.m. today. And Bahamian sharpshooter in the NBA with the Indiana Pacers, Chavano Buddy Hield, hitting another milestone this week as he surpassed Pacers legend Reggie Miller, setting a single-series franchise record for the most three-pointers in a season. Hield hit his 230th three-pointer on Wednesday, and the Pacers still have 22 games remaining in the 2022-23 NBA season. Hield was a huge part of his team's 117-113 comeback victory over the divisional rival Chicago Bulls. He finished with 27 points. The milestone coming the week before he represents the Pacers in the NBA's three-point competition over its All-Star weekend, where he will be going after his second title. He won the first one during the 2020 All-Star weekend, beating Phoenix Suns guard Devin Booker in the final. And more from the NBA. Kevin Durant watching the Phoenix Suns from afar over the past few years, admiring the budding nucleus of Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and Bahamian DeAndre Ayton. Now he's thrilled to be a part of it. The 13-time All-Star introduced Thursday on the floor at Footprint Arena in front of about 3,000 fans who showed up in the middle of the afternoon just to hear the veteran forward answer a few questions. Durant saying, quote, "We've got all the pieces to be successful. Many were already wearing his number 35 jersey, which has been a hot seller at the downtown fan store since General Manager James Jones pulled the blockbuster trade with the Brooklyn Nets just weeks before the trade deadline. Well, just a few days before that deadline. Nearly every time Durant tried to speak on Thursday, he was interrupted by cheers from fans overjoyed by the biggest superstar rival in Phoenix since the Suns traded Charles Barkley in 1992. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got high pressure that continues to dominate weather across the islands. That will continue through tonight. Then it will retreat northeastward, allowing a cold front to move into the northwest Bahamas by early tomorrow, Saturday. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to lingering rip currents, mainly along east and south coast beaches. For today, your forecast for the northwest and central Bahamas. Partly cloudy and breezy with isolated showers, becoming cloudy with scattered showers and possible thunderstorms over the extreme northwest Bahamas tonight. Variably cloudy with the chance of showers tonight over the remainder of the islands. For boaters, small craft caution in effect until this afternoon. Winds southeast to south at 15 to 20 knots today, falling to 10 to 15 knots this afternoon. Seas 4 to 6 feet, but diminishing to 2 to 4 feet by this afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy, windy with a chance of passing isolated showers. Through tonight, small craft advisory in effect. Winds easterly at 15 to 25 knots, seas 5 to 8 feet. Temperature-wise, right now it is about 74 degrees under partly cloudy skies in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius today. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and tell you about this cold front, what that will mean for your weekend coming up after traffic in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here. On your home for fresh news and smart talk all day, Guardian Radio 96.9.
End of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
With over 25 years in business, nothing says commitment to our people, culture, and service like Rev. And this year is no different. We will continue to elevate your home experience for you to create and share memories for years to come, while keeping you connected to the people and things you love most. Our pledge to provide quality service each year remains true. Rev is made for you.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Introducing the new Tortilla Lime Crunch Chicken Sandwich from Wendy's! And I have a little bit of everything. Avocado, taco mayo, pickles, and crunchy tortillas on top of a delicious breaded chicken fillet. Yes, try it and add our all-new Dave's Craft Lemonade to your combo. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday. And we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Good like that.
Welcome to the power of Visa, with access to thousands of travel and shopping and dining discounts with up to $1,500 in savings yearly with Mobile Assist's new prepaid Visa travel rewards cards. Book the cheapest flights, even cheaper than Orbitz and Expedia. Get cash back at participating hotels, car rentals with automatic insurance, and online shopping discounts at U.S. stores like Gap, Best Buy, and more. Get your 30-day free trial when you download our Mobile Assist app. Visit mobileassist/rewards now for your prepaid Visa travel rewards card.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 at BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Stephen Hanna. Good morning, Stephen Hanna.
Hey.
Okay. Good morning. Hope you're doing well.
We're doing. Yep. We're good.
Okay, all right. Coming up this morning in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be talking with Great Commission's Ministries. They are working on something called the Hope City Project, and it is a plan to build a homeless shelter. We'll get details on what that's all about. Later in Morning Blend Business, we're going to be talking about whether there is a worker shortage in the country, and is that the main reason behind the illegal migration issues we're having in this country? Is it purely that? A very interesting voice note from Fred Mitchell, his morning voice note, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, the chairman of the PLP, MP for Fox Hill. So it's not like it's you can just ignore these things, but some interesting comments. We're going to focus on that in the business hour, and he's saying some interesting things, and we need to be very concerned. And then this explains even more than we thought we knew. And if you have any hope of things really changing, you might really begin to question whether you should after hearing that. I'm actually kind of surprised, but maybe that's just my interpretation. We'll get to that in our 9 o'clock hour. But right now, let's begin with what else is in the news. Yes, I'm being reminded Minister of Public Service, which is even more disturbing when you think about what he said this morning. Okay, so but we'll get to that shortly. In the news, before we get to CARICOM and some other issues I want to focus on, just want to say thank goodness everybody is okay following that very frightening emergency landing of that Western airplane yesterday morning. The video was extremely compelling, and I'm happy that everybody is okay on board. Did you get to see it? Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what, you don't think it was? I mean,
I didn't say anything to it.
It could have gone terribly wrong.
Yes. And we're glad it didn't.
I'm very happy it didn't. And kudos to the pilots. What a great job they did landing the plane. What's up with your face? What do you?
I'm not saying, I didn't say anything to it.
What is this expression on your face?
This is just a general look.
Well,
this is my radio face.
You need to fix that.
Wow.
You need to work on that.
You know,
okay. All right.
You come in.
Are you not happy the people are okay?
You come in for 3 years with your face screwed up. Like, oh, somebody needs to help Stephen. You come in one more, that's smile, and what's wrong with you?
It's a creepy smile.
It's like, is it a creepy smile?
It's extremely.
Well, you know.
It's disturbing.
Well,
oh, dear.
You'll be fine.
Especially with that story.
It's just the look is on my face. I apologize. It's not. It's not for the place.
Okay.
Like I'm not over here. Like yes.
That's how it looks. Okay, but everybody's fine. We can joke about it. I think. But I mean,
if you're accepting comments about the flight.
No.
Okay. Well, then
why would there be a need for that?
No, I was just.
You had something to say?
Nope.
Oh,
never
okay.
mind.
I think you probably shouldn't. Okay. And of course, CARICOM. Let's hear it. I need to understand the face. I'm confused.
I was a little concerned about the tone of the person telling them to brace. No.
Oh, you mean that person?
Yes.
Who was having a mental breakdown?
Yeah, because if that person was...
You think it was a flight attendant?
If that was a flight attendant.
Oh, Lord, that's scary.
Right, because they had more panic in their voice than all the passengers.
Person was terrified.
Right.
Oh, I hope she's okay.
Please brace.
Like every 2 seconds.
Yeah, and it's like, what's happening?
You think that was a flight attendant?
The way
I thought
they
it
were
was somebody's Grammy.
Anything's possible. Their voice is cracking. That person was not. That wasn't necessarily, as helpful. That may have escalated the fear in the room at the time. But
yeah, that was a bit.
They're all right.
Mm-hmm. Lots of praying. Lots of praying was going on.
Right, and
that was good.
That's an example of not screaming fire in a crowded theater. Because the person.
I don't know if that's
because somebody saying, "Hey, we're turning around. It may be a little rocky, so if you could brace, is one thing." Mm-hmm. But somebody saying, "Everybody, please," that's a little different. That's gonna incite some fear and panic.
Some people are like, "Oh, chill out," right? And so she might have needed everyone to understand the seriousness of the situation.
All right, that's fine. I'm not. Yeah, I can't. Well, you know what? I wasn't there, so
yeah. But again, everybody's great, everybody's fine, and those pilots need to be commended. I hope we learn. I don't think we have it in the story here. Learn who they are because they did a good job. That was good work there. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. In other news, big stories in the papers. Canada. What Canada says it's going to do to help with Haiti. Canada says it's going to deploy ships to Haiti, but they won't be there to intercept people trying to leave Haiti. They will be there for surveillance, security equipment. They'll be there to monitor the situation, that kind of thing. So we still have to continue our work, and the U.S. Coast Guard as well here. So that was a pledge from Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, and he also pledged $44.8 million in funding to tackle the climate crisis in the Caribbean. How that's going to be used? Well, he says, quote, Canada applauds Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley's leadership on the Bridgetown Initiative, which has re-energized the conversation on international financial institutional reform so that they can better respond to the overlapping health, climate, debt, and liquidity crises affecting many CARICOM members. Canada is also honored to have been selected by the Board of Directors of the Caribbean Development Bank to chair the CDB Board of Governors. Now, along with the crisis in Haiti, climate change is among the top issues at the high-level meetings taking place here. In his speech at the opening at Atlantis, Prime Minister Philip Davis, who highlighted the importance of joint action on climate change, said that, quote, even though we in the CARICOM region are especially vulnerable to the rising sea levels and temperatures, erosion of our coastal communities and hurricanes, which are more frequent and more intense, by working together, we show that we are not powerless. Right, so we'll see. We'll see how this aid from Canada, what this will do. But, so let's get your reaction to that and to what Canada is going to be doing with Haiti, and whether you think that will do anything. Again, they're hoping that this will provide, this will bolster the Haitian National Police so that Haiti has the tools and support to solve the situation, including deploying surveillance aircraft and vital strategic security equipment and vehicles, and additional delivery of vehicles in the coming days. Will it make a difference? Let's get your reaction. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Standard text rates apply. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for taking my call.
Hi.
We really need to say kudos to the pilots.
Mm-hmm.
Because, it could have been different.
Absolutely.
I know of a different story. When you run out of fuel, there's no excuse. That's Freeport a couple of years ago. But Trudeau, the pledge, is he going to actually identify us by radio or whatever when a boat is leaving, since he's not going to intercept?
You mean the Canadians on the boats? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I would hope they do. I would hope so. I don't know, though. I'm not too sure.
Well, if you see him, you can ask him.
Okay. Well, I'll see if I can get someone to ask that. Yes, that is a good question, though. That is a very good question. Thank you. Let's take another call. Again, you can call in 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Okay. Let's take this one. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight, good morning to you and Steve.
Good morning.
I am in support of anything that is positive right now to really, if they can, assist Haiti. I think it's in help. Anything that is positive. I want to also say congratulations to the pilot on their skillful maneuver in saving lives. It could have been worse. But going back to your subject matter on Haiti, Steve, your guests normally bring valid points on Friday. But I would like to ask them this question.
Go ahead.
Do you believe that Bahamian is becoming uncomfortable in believing that foreigners, especially our brothers and sisters from the South, are getting better privilege than Bahamian at large? I'll hang up and listen.
No, don't hang up. Because, that assumes that I believe that Haitians are getting treated better than Bahamians.
No, privilege, not treating. Privilege.
I would say, okay, that would assume that I believe that Haitians have more privilege or are getting more privileges than Bahamians?
Yes, in terms of, yes.
Yeah, I don't believe that, though.
What about,
when's the last time immigration walk up inside a barbershop and slap your head off?
Well, I don't have much information on that.
No, not specifically. Okay, so has an immigration officer ever walked up to you and tear your head off? And then for the entire week?
I have never. I try at my age, Stephen. I have 5 beautiful grand. I try to respect the law as much as I can, so I don't allow myself to get in those situations.
Yeah, but they didn't actually break any law. They have work permits.
well, how can one get work permit and work in our country? This is where I think
finish that thought. Go on. What was your? Well, how can one go on?
You mean me or who?
You? Yeah.
This is where in my small environment, this is where the question arises and how these persons are getting work permit and entering our country with work permit. This is one of the questions.
Is that the question? I mean, that's how it works. I mean, you get a job and they get you a work permit. The question is,
I don't know. Yes.
The question is, and you should know about this, right? Why would you get a work permit to be a barber?
Yeah, but that's once again, that's a different question.
That is the question.
No, but
thank you, Dwight. Dwight, your spiritual eyes are opening. Thank you. I appreciate your help. And this is the question that Bahamian are asking.
No, that's not the question you were asking. You were asking how can they have work permits at all? And here's the thing. Maybe they shouldn't have work permits to be barbers, but as of right now, if the work permit is legit, because they carried them to the detention center and then they released them, didn't they?
They have work permits. We don't know if they have work permits to be barbers.
That's fine, but I'm saying
that's not fine.
As of now, no, I'm saying I'm not disagreeing with that. Mm-hmm. I'm saying as of now, the work permit is not in question. What is in question is what made that immigration officer feel like they could tear that man's head off.
But there is any fact that they were immigration officers?
We don't know yet.
You see, speculation.
Here's the thing. You could say a speculation all you want, all right? But if I pretended to be a police officer,
that's even scarier.
I would not carry you to. I would not carry you to central booking if I was pretending to be a police officer. So if you are pretending to be an immigration officer, I don't see why you would carry somebody to the actual immigration offices. So that's some real confusion right there. We need to shut the whole government down then, if that's the case.
Or they're very dark, sinister people.
No, listen, all I'm saying is I don't agree that Haitians have more privileges than Bahamians in the Bahamas.
None of us have the fact. But I think there's a feeling, though, many Bahamians, we don't have a database on it. Many Bahamians feel that our brothers and sisters from the South are getting more privilege than us because the evidence is clear.
Yes, give us some examples of that. How, where, when?
In terms
that's
of building illegal homes, having illegal electricity, having illegal water, having illegal work permit, etc.
How do you have illegal water?
That's not an example of what you're saying, right? That's not an example of what you're saying. Now, we have to look internally to figure out why we aren't cracking down on anybody doing anything against the law.
Agreed. Said. Agreed.
And
so we need to find the root of why anybody is being rebellious to the law of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Well, we know the reason. It's the family.
Why? Tell me the reason.
It's the family.
It's what?
It's the family.
Steve, boy, you on point. Steve, anyway, you win that one, Steve. Oh, you agree now the traditional family is eroded?
Yeah, I believe in the extended family. I don't believe in the nuclear family. I believe we need all of the family, from grandparents as far back as we can get, wherever they may have come from.
To participate?
Yes, wherever they may have come from.
Well said.
So, I mean, because you wouldn't say my Bayesian great-grandmother shouldn't be a part of my family, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'm just asking. All right.
Dwight, you in agreement with Steve this morning with that?
I have never disagreed with you on this. I don't know why you keep saying this. I've never disagreed with you. The family is in crisis. The family is in crisis. Absolutely. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, I just want to read this before we take this call. This is more of what Canada is pledging to do. Canada will invest another $12.3 million in humanitarian assistance, according to Prime Minister Trudeau. Quote, together with CARICOM, Canada and international partners can help Haitians bring an end to the crisis and build a better, more hopeful future for their country. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Caller, what say you? Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Stephen.
Hi. Good morning. How you doing?
Morning. Hey, Dwight, I haven't had a chance to chime in all week, but Dwight, here's the scenario. You're working on a job. Your boss treating you bad, okay? You are disenfranchised. You feel disgruntled. about the treatment. Okay? Why do you need permission to protest? I mean, what is a protest? Okay? Should you go to your boss and say, well, can I have permission to protest? I don't understand who came up with
You're
that in the
going
first place.
to protest what? Your job?
Yeah. No, you're going to protest your ill feeling, okay? Your disenchantment with your job or the way you were being treated. All right?
What do you hope to accomplish by doing that?
Well, obviously, you have to make your feelings known, Dwight.
Oh, okay.
No, my point is, Dwight, where they got a thing with permission to protest. The Rastas and also Lincoln Bingham. I just don't understand
And that law was passed years ago, though.
That's a slave law, to be honest. I mean, in my concern, that's a slave law. My opinion. Number two, Dwight. The lady photographer who they arrested, and the police them dragged, right? Where is the lady's call? I mean, remember when Komalapi was locked up? There was Glennis Hannah Martin, there was the Red Butler Turner. Where the ladies called for her, the lady should be the one, the biggest advocate for the unfair treatment of that same photographer.
Why?
Okay?
Yeah, why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because
she's a woman?
that's a lady who they treated like that, right?
Okay.
That's a lady who they treated like that. I mean,
Everybody who feels she was treated poorly should be up in arms and should be doing something or saying something. Not
I
just
agree.
just
I agree,
because
but the lady should
you
lead the
can't
way.
break off into these gender camps and stuff.
I know. That's right. Okay, when Komalapi was arrested, there was obviously a gender cap, more or less. I think they should lead the way.
Well, no.
I mean, that's my feeling.
Okay, I hear you.
think so? Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Dwight, every time I go to the gym, I go to Empire Fitness, by the way.
Is that an ad?
No.
Sounds like to me.
No, Steven Empire Fitness. I would never give it that.
Wow. This guy.
So every time I go to the gym, one of the trainers there, not my trainer. My trainer is Joe Marr, but
what is happening?
There's another trainer there, Corey. He says, I notice a lot on the radio, Steven. You say you feel this way, you feel that way. And feelings don't really have anything to do with facts. Like, you can feel whatever you want to feel, but that's not going to benefit the facts at the end of the day. And I've noticed that a lot of the callers are like...
We need to have your trainer here on the show.
By all means. I mean, that's not my trainer, that's Corey.
Oh.
My trainer is Joe Marr.
Right.
Joe Marr is like, stop talking to Corey, lift some weights.
At Empire Fitness.
At Empire Fitness.
Yes.
All right, NC Grace Plaza.
Not an ad.
Not an ad, right. So the whole point is, a lot of the callers are calling in and they're saying, I feel this way and Bahamians feel this way. And they admit that there is no evidence. But here's the thing. Multiple times I've heard this week and last week, they don't do it so much when I'm on the air. But when other days of the week, they'll call in and they'll say everybody in the shanty town is illegal. And you'll say, well, that's not what we heard from the reports. We heard from the reports, the majority of the people there have some paperwork. Either they're Bahamians or they have some status there. And then the callers would say, I don't believe it. I don't feel that way. So here's the problem. Your feeling does not reflect the fact. And there's nothing that we can do to convince you otherwise. Because your feeling has actually nothing to do with the facts at hand. It has nothing to do with Haitians. Your feelings are being directed towards Haitians, but your feelings are legitimate, but your feelings are not with this fact right here. The shanty towns are a problem because no one should be living in those type of conditions, and that's going to affect the wider community. But the problem is a different problem. And the feeling that you're feeling is because how come I don't get to pay $40 a month to live someplace? How come I don't get free land? How come I don't get these things? And that's a legitimate question. But the feeling that you're imposing on other people, that's not legitimate. So for a moment, let's step out of our feelings. However you may feel. I'm doing it because I didn't scream at anybody today.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to scream at anybody at all today.
Good.
Even when they call in and give these weird statistics like there are 400 million millionaires in Haiti or something, 400,000 millionaires in Haiti. And it's like, where did you get this number from? It sounds like you're quoting a lunatic, but you won't give that. And you're saying, I like to quote facts, but I'm not hearing the facts. All I'm saying is to step out of our feelings and say what we know to be true. Not I once observed a Haitian man saying I hate grits and therefore all Haitians hate Bahamians.
But also to the question, and this is my feeling. I feel that to the previous question, we believe that foreigners get treated well. These, especially, specifically Haitians.
I do not believe that Haitians are more
feel
privileged.
that right, and that almost every one of them would change places with most Bahamians
in a heartbeat.
And
here's the wild thing is, right? There is a level of unawareness of irony, because it's like, on one hand, there are people saying Bahamians are being treated unfairly. Bahamians don't have no rights in the Bahamas. And in the same crowd of people, in the same paragraph, they say, because Haitians are trying to steal Bahamian rights. You just said we don't have no rights. You just said we don't have nothing, right? So, no, but the truth is, Dwight, the first half of the statement kind of feels right. It's like, what do we really have? We spend 60% of our paycheck trying to not lose house and home and starve to death. We can't. I'm saying some of us, not you, Dwight. I know that you make a half $1 easy.
Left at $3.
Okay, then. So most of us are
the next day after payday.
Right. Some of us are just trying to make it from day to day. Right. We're spending all this money. It's not like we live in the wonderful world, and then we come on the radio and we say we live in the best country in the world, and then complain about teaching and nursing and everything, about the roads, about the government, about corruption, all these different things, right? There's a level of cognitive dissonance, whereas like we are literally saying we have nothing, and then turning around and saying these people are trying to steal it from us.
All right.
What are they trying to steal?
Yeah. Well,
they're being used as scapegoats, as ploys, as distractions from what the real issue is. There's systemic issues that need to be addressed and fixed in this country. Right?
Absolutely.
And immigration might be a part of it, but it ain't even top 5.
All right, let's get back to these calls before we have to take a break. This text, though, really quickly, this person says, let's hope all these things Canada's providing don't fall into the hands of the gangs. Well.
I agree.
Okay. Oh, my goodness. This person says that John Kerry is more concerned about climate change than stabilizing Haiti. He admits the First Nations are the biggest emitters. Well, he is essentially the climate czar there. So I mean, that's what he focuses on. He's not
right.
there.
And climate change was one of the major issues on the agenda. Also, they are not the First Nations there, and I think the person is referring to them being First World Nations.
Probably that's what they mean.
Which is an antiquated term that no longer exists. But First Nations are the indigenous people of
they mean
Canada.
First World. But they go on to say, how stupid am I to believe that they will assist the region with Haiti? You all know CARICOM's main agenda for the Bahamas every time is for us to open up this country. That hasn't even been discussed. Just stop. And again, Kerry is the climate ambassador, basically. So that is his focus there. But okay. Anyway, let's take this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Steven.
Hey,
hi, good morning.
Everything is good. Everything good. Both of you are on a good wicket this morning, except Stephen will start to get a little wobbly with that last statement he made in terms of deprive you of what, of course. If you're illegal and going unabated, and you doing something that you shouldn't do because you're illegal, that can deprive somebody else of something that they should be doing in a legal situation. That is possible. You understand? You could look at our healthcare and all of the stuff like that now.
Yeah, but see,
all of the illegals overcrowding that now. We got to go
So,
to that job.
so one second. Don't. No, 1 second. I just want to adjust that right quick, right? So here's the thing, right? With healthcare and education, because I hear a lot of people always complain about this. So this is the thing. If somebody is in the country, right, do you want any stupid people in this country? And that's just a broad question. Would you like to have a country where there are 20% of the people stupid? Take it away. That's a yes or no question.
Well, I really ain't want to debate that.
No. It's not a debate. It's not a debate. I just want to
deprive.
No. I understand that, but I'm just saying. Do you want 20% of the people to be stupid?
I can barely hear you.
Would you like?
Well, get to your point. What's your point?
I want a yes or no from him.
Nobody wants that. Although
nobody wants stupid people in the country, right? No. So the reason is because people look at it and say, oh, our education system is overcrowded. Our healthcare system is overcrowded. We don't want sick people. We don't want dumb people in the country. So it is inevitable that we need to have as many people educated and as many people who have access to healthcare. The problem isn't that there are too many Haitians in the schools. The problem is there aren't enough teachers. There isn't enough resources in education. The problem isn't that there are too many Haitians inside PMH. We could take all the Haitians out, and we still wouldn't get served until next week because the problem is PMH.
Stephen, there are a myriad of problems. That's why I really need to get...
No. It's not a debate. I just want to address it. Go ahead.
To the Bahamian people, for God's sake, Bahamian people, after 50 years of independence, please educate yourself as to the laws of this country. And I say that from experience. There was a time I would say, oh, don't worry about that. But guess what? The courts and the laws work. As Stephen was saying, take your emotions out of it. I agree 100%. Y'all Bahamians, take your emotions out of it. Anything that you feel you're not satisfied with, put it in court. The courts work. Almost make me a rich man the last 2 times I've been to court.
Wow.
They work. Don't worry about what people say. Now, one thing, Dwight, I will put this question to you and Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
Aircrafts, yes, it's fortunate that what happened, it wasn't worse, right? But I was on an air flight into Freeport some years ago, and we lost pressure in the aircraft, right? And the pilot was on the halo system saying, prepare for descent into Freeport, right? Man, that was a bad feeling when we lost our pressure. But man, instead of landing in Freeport, why they turn around and go way back to where they come from?
This happened just after takeoff, apparently, according to what...
Oh, in that case. But most flights I hear is turn around and go back to where they come from. So what make them think the same thing where they going to go landing happen where they going back and probably make it worse in terms of time? That's the question I wanted really to ask. Thanks, man.
All right. I don't know if that happens that often, but they'll try to find the nearest airport, right? But this happened shortly after takeoff, apparently. Shortly after takeoff. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, got a lot of your text messages and a lot more calls coming in, too. And then I want to talk about this interesting story about the hot dog bun thief.
Very concerning.
Because you go to jail for that. But when you murder 3 people, you get to walk around Nassau and do whatever you want.
Wow.
But that's just the way the Bahamas works.
Those 6 buns,
allegedly,
those 6 buns are worth more than the life of any human being.
Clearly.
2.5 years.
Oh boy. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialists can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. In your real-time traffic this morning, as usual, Milo Butler Highway. Heavy traffic there, northbound from Fire Trail straight up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. And traffic is backed up along Tawny Williams Darling Highway as well. Quite a ways down, almost to Bahamas Games Boulevard, actually, in the westbound lanes and eastbound to the roundabout with Milo Butler Highway. So that area is just looking congested for you this morning. There's even a bit of A bit of a buildup eastbound towards Bahamas Games Boulevard on Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. Further up, some building traffic at the six-legged roundabout. But once again, it's JFK Drive between Tonic Williams-Darling Highway and near Theodore Lane, and westbound and eastbound between the roundabouts at Gladstone Road and Prospect Ridge, Tonic Williams-Darling Highway. So that area is looking congested for you this morning. Elsewhere, building traffic on Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road. And Blue Hill Road's busy between Carmichael and the roundabout with Independence Drive. Soldier and East Street, that intersection is looking congested, especially north of the intersection on your way northbound on East Street to the roundabout with East West Highway and Independence Drive. And Soldier near Windsor Place looking busy for you as well. Elsewhere, we've got Eastern Road, heavy traffic just west of Fox Hill Road. Prince Charles Drive near the major intersections, especially Beatrice Avenue. And Soldier Road on the way to Wolf, Bernard, and Village. That the northbound lane's looking busy there. Marathon Road northbound too at this hour. That's what we're seeing right now. That's your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Whether you're looking for your first or new home or even using your existing home as equity, RBC understands that your journey to home ownership is unique and your mortgage financing should reflect that. That is why at RBC we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Fidelity, we're good for you. Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal, so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient, so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday, and we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Good like that.
At Doctors Hospital, our lamp just got brighter. The Loyalty Advantage membership program now has 3 unique plans to choose from. From Lamp Prepaid with free prime care visits and service line discounts, Lamp Insured with copay waivers and 0 upfront collections at the ER and inpatient services, or our new Lamp Access, a free plan that offers 10% off labs, pharmacy, and imaging. Lamp has a plan for everyone. To sign up, visit our website or give us a call. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now.
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, at 8:22, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Here is what's happening. We've got high pressure that continues to dominate weather across the country. That will continue at least through tonight. Then we're expecting that to retreat eastwards, northeastwards, allowing for a cold front to move into the northwest Bahamas by early tomorrow, Saturday. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to lingering rip currents, mainly along east and south coast beaches. For today, for the northwest and central islands, look for partly cloudy and breezy conditions with isolated showers, becoming cloudy with scattered showers and possible thunderstorms over the extreme northwest Bahamas tonight. Variably cloudy with a chance of showers tonight over the remainder of the islands. Small craft caution in effect until this afternoon. For the southeast Bahamas today, partly cloudy, windy with a chance of a passing isolated shower or two. Through tonight, small craft advisory in effect. Temperature-wise, today we're looking at highs getting up to around 82 Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook, that cold front's expected to move into the northwest Bahamas early tomorrow, producing shower activity and strong gusty winds along the boundary. The front will stall across the northwest Bahamas on Sunday, with high pressure starting to build across the islands. So, for Saturday tomorrow, partly cloudy and breezy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms over the northwestern islands, variably cloudy with a chance of isolated showers over the remainder of the country. For Sunday, partly cloudy and breezy with a few isolated showers and possible thunderstorms. That's your Morning Blend weather check, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or just stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the first Bahamian general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And time for another check of your traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialist can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. In your real-time traffic, again, we're seeing that heavy traffic on Tawny Quilliams-Darling Highway, westbound to the roundabout with Milo Butler Highway, which is also busy from about Fire Trail straight up to that roundabout this morning. And JFK Drive, still the heavy traffic there between Tawny Quilliams-Darling Highway roundabout and Gladstone Road, Bahamar Boulevard roundabout, especially westbound, but eastbound as well. And so that area is looking congested for you this morning. Six-legged roundabout building traffic there as well, especially northbound and a bit eastbound on JFK Drive. Elsewhere, we've got Blue Hill Road, just north of Soldier Road, seeing some heavy traffic there, but Independence Drive is the story. It's busy both directions, east and westbound, between the roundabouts, Blue Hill Road and East Street. East Street also congested, especially near the intersection with Soldier Road. And Soldier Road is going to be a problem area for you this morning, straight through to Windsor Place, and then to the intersection with Robinson Road and Prince Charles Drive. Robinson right there between Soldier and Old Trail. Heavy traffic westbound. And Soldier will continue to be busy for you north through to Village Road and the intersection with Bernard and Wolf Road. We're also seeing some building traffic westbound on Carmichael to Coral Harbor Road. So those are your hot spots. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Beats by BigH.com.
When someone shows you who they are, open up your eyes. When they delight in your scar, open up your eyes. When they find joy in your pain, open up your eyes. When my loss is your gain, you are toxic. You'd rather see me down, not around. I'm above ground, I'm rebound. But I won't forget how you wanted me dead. Gotta blame myself for this. Pretending not to see your selfishness. Ignore the deceit and the lie. Should've believed it the first time. When someone shows you who they are, open up your eyes. When they
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Stephen Hanna. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about the Hope City project for Great Commission Ministries. They're hoping to build a homeless shelter. And we'll get some details about that in just a few minutes. I want to get through the rest of your text messages, and there's that story we were telling you about earlier. We want to talk about that briefly. All right, so this texter is saying here, and you can text us 422-4796 and get your calls in very quickly. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us and Facebook us. So this texter saying, so Canada is going to give millions to the Bahamas to use on Haiti. And that's not what they said at all. Did you hear that? That's not what they said. It's for CARICOM. So let's not say that. And then we've got, they went on to say that Dwight and Stephen prove what we are saying is not true. I don't understand. Haitians are being treated better than Bahamians. Two dudes got roughed up by immigration and you all cry, but a lady gets beat up in the hospital and you laugh. I don't know who you're talking about. Who laughed? And who woman got beat up? Makes me wonder about y'all. Y'all two are in a different reality. Yes, the Bahamas is blessed, and we are trying to preserve that, not lose it to another country that's in a mess. Bahamians seem to have no right of freedom of speech or movement. This is a communist country now, really. Look at how the police are harassing innocent civilians. Okay, well, you've got a lot of confusion going on with you. I'm not sure what your issue is, but okay, I hear you. Oh, boy. This person says, I can't even build an add-on to my house without permits, but the Haitians come and steal the land and build question-free. that's not privilege, I don't know what it is, okay? And let's not joke around. That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening here. These folks are largely renting from people who have leases mainly from the government. So do not pretend and buy into these false narratives about what's going on here.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is just once again, it's a distraction. It's like somebody pushing you off course to be like, it's smoke and mirrors. That's what it is. Because like the real issue is not being addressed. You know?
Do you think that is a text? Do you think that people are here who are undocumented participated in those studies in the shanty towns? And that's a good question. It's highly probable that they didn't. But and as we know, that happens because Bahamians who have citizenship, who have been there for generations, avoid the census takers.
Well, the census
right?
people are coming back out.
Yes, but I mean, Bahamians will avoid it. They will lock up and pretend like they're not there or make up some excuse. So a lot of people, for various bizarre reasons, we can understand that one more. If you're not documented, you can understand why you might want to do that. But why people who are citizens would not want the census to be counting them? So imagine that.
Still though, like no one has ever said in any of these reports that 100% of the people are Bahamian. No one's ever said 100% of the people have documentation. Said the majority.
Right.
So it's like I don't think that the fact that the number is lower than my mind led me to believe that means that this is the point, the case in point. You know what I'm saying? Like you could look how many, and this is going to be, you know what? Let's all get uncomfortable, right? How many white people you think live in the Bahamas? Would you say 100? How many white people you see on a daily basis?
Make the point that you want to
I'm
make.
just saying, like, just because you think you see something or you don't see something, it doesn't mean, because if for example, if I would only be around Cable Beach, I would think that maybe the population of white people in the Bahamas is 50-50. But if I never pass Camp Road, if I stay out east, I mean all of out east, including Yamakra and Winton, I think that there are 10 white people in the Bahamas. Well, aside from Seabreeze. But our own personal anecdotal evidence may not reflect the truth.
Yeah.
And so it's like a lot of people are sitting here and assuming everybody in the shantytown must be here illegally. And notice how I phrased that. Not that they are illegal, but they are here illegally.
Mm-hmm.
However, the numbers are not saying that.
Right.
And you can't just say, I don't feel that way.
This texter says, listeners need to realize that many Guardian radio talk show personalities are Haitian migrant sympathizers.
You got it.
Who believe that they can lecture the Bahamian population because they are the civilized intellectual class.
I don't know about that part, but okay. You know, us college dropouts. Whatever.
Would y'all prefer me to say that developed nations have a bigger carbon footprint? I know who John Kerry is, and I'm talking about Big Brother U.S. not doing more with the biggest military. This is the person who said about the big countries. Okay. Y'all think people are uninformed? Some are indeed. But you made the point, and he's not here to talk about Haiti. You brought him up, Texter. You did. But he wasn't here to talk about Haiti. This one says, if Steve is making a stupid argument, if the healthcare and education systems are antiquated, illegal migration will exacerbate the problem.
What? How does illegal migration exacerbate the problem?
You were both saying the same thing. This person says, if Stephen, your mind is so one-tracked and so pro-Haitian, it's ridiculous. You may be smart, but you're not wise. What? You're a spin doctor. That's what you are. If you move every illegal family from schools and health care would run so smoothly, point blank.
What's your facts to prove that? Because I know one thing. There are certain departments and ministries that have had systemic problems from time immemorial, all right? And I've heard people trying to blame the passport office on Haitians. No, I'm saying, Dwight, that happened on this show. Somebody said the reason why the passport office moves so slow because they keep on making new Bahamians or some foolishness like that. this week on this show.
Do with anything? I didn't hear that.
I heard it.
Okay.
It was one of those times when you're like, "Thank you, caller, for your opinion." It's like, don't thank this person. Here's the thing.
Sometimes it just tune out crazy.
Haitians are not the reason why the passport office moves slow. All right, and I said, and I have a strong feeling, since we're all moving on feelings, that it is not Haitians that is holding up PMH.
Okay, let's take these calls really quickly, and then I want to get to the hot dog bun thief. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, Steven.
Morning.
Dwight, I have a problem with my Bahamian people, right? Let me tell you why I say that. I listened to Eyewitness News yesterday, this lady who was the deputy leader of the coalition, and she is a lawyer too. Her thing is that, I don't know if you listened to it, right? Her thing is that they had a ban on their hand, right? The ban was for them to be, they rent a hotel room. The ban wasn't for them to be a part of the event would take place yesterday, right? Now listen to this. I want the Bahamian people to listen to this good. 2 weeks ago, these the very people would threaten the Prime Minister. Now, the Prime Minister, not the Prime Minister, the Commissioner said that they will do all they could do to stop any kind of organization what is a threat to the Prime Minister and whomsoever else is coming to the Bahamas concerning this event, what they're going to do today, right? Now, she's going to say they was invited. If they was invited and the police escort them onto Goodman's Bay.
Invited where?
There. Why, if they was invited?
Invited where?
That's what I'm saying. Where they was invited. Because if they was invited, I don't think the police would escort them on Goodman's Bay. He would allow them to go in. And I know the Prime Minister ain't going to invite them, knowing that they were some of the people would cause that threat on his life. Right?
Well, we don't know
and
that.
Some of these Bahamian people, so I don't know what they have a problem with. The Prime Minister, they have a problem with the Haitians. And the Haitian ain't really the problem, you know. You know what's the problem? These same set of people were trying to make it believe is the Haitian problem. The judge just left the injunction. Now they expect for the people just to go in there and tear down the people's house and saying the Davis administration flunking. They trying to, listen to me. I be sick and tired of when I hear my Bahamian people, when they sending you all these texts and coming on the radio show and ain't understanding what's going on. They ain't understand what's going on. Certain things the government can't control. Certain things nobody in this Jesus been on this earth and couldn't control the migrants them in when they supposed to eat the Israelites them supposed to be just Israelites. You know how much migrant they had and they couldn't get rid of them? So what they did, they live with them, they allowed them to live with them. So, and they can't like this thing only happening in the Bahamas.
Okay.
It's happening in the United States,
well,
Canada,
I mean,
all over the world. Migrants, people, them.
But that doesn't mean that you have to sit back and allow it to happen. Now, again, we don't know who threatened. We have not heard. We don't know who it was who was arrested.
I've never heard them deny it.
Well, let's not go down that road.
Well, they don't deny it.
But we don't know about that.
If you accuse Al Qaeda or something, I feel like they'll deny it.
But we haven't heard from the police on the person who they've arrested or not much about that at all this week, but we'll see. But what we do know, the police are saying that 14 adult males, inclusive of the leader of the Coalition of Independents, along with 4 adult females, will be arraigned in the magistrate's court today for charges of unlawful assembly, resisting arrest, and causing a nuisance. So that's going to be interesting today.
I don't think that resisting arrest should ever be a charge, but whatever.
Okay.
No, because the way what an animal desires freedom. It is a natural inclination. Next, they could charge me for breathing too hard on the officer. The officer punched me and I messed up his tunic with my blood.
Okay. Well, we're going to leave that there. Let's very quickly, because we need to move on, talk about this story that we mentioned earlier. This is disturbing. Our Artise Davis writing about it. A man who stole a $6 pack of hot dog buns from a church will remain in prison after the Court of Appeal upheld his shop-breaking and sacrilege convictions. The Court of Appeal on Thursday unanimously rejected an appeal by 41-year-old Elkino Wallace, who was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison for stealing the buns. On September 13th, 2022, Wallace broke into East Street Gospel Chapel, went to the kitchen of the church's auditorium where he stole the buns. Police met Wallace on the scene after they checked out an alarm activation report around 1:30 a.m. He told the officers that he was hungry. 2 days later, at his arraignment before Magistrate Samuel McKinney on September 15th, Wallace apologized for his actions. He claimed that he was on medication to manage an undisclosed medical condition. Wallace did not have a lawyer when he pleaded guilty to the offenses. Now, before passing sentence, McKinney noted Wallace's criminal history of breaking into buildings, criminal trespass, and vagrancy, and the seriousness of the offenses. At the appeal, Bjorn Ferguson argued that Wallace's guilty plea was a nullity because of the offense. The offense was shop breaking, did not exist in the penal code. He also contended that the plea was equivocal and that Wallace did not understand the nature of the charges. However, the court found the argument had no substance. The court said, quote, there can be no doubt that the particulars show an offense under Section 362 of the penal code. The fact that the offense is described as shop breaking and not house breaking is not material. The court added, quote, in our judgment, the appellant cannot be embarrassed by the fact that the offense was described as shop breaking and not house breaking. He was aware of the fact that he was charged with the offense under Section 362 of the Penal Code and of the particulars that constituted the offense for which he had pleaded guilty. Moreover, a review of his antecedents showed that he had previously been convicted of shop breaking and sent to prison for 6 months for the offense. The court also said that there was no evidence to show that Wallace did not understand the charges or was not fit to plead. As for the appeal against sentence, the court noted that Wallace was sentenced to 2 years in prison for shop breaking back in 2008. As a result, the court found that the sentence was not unduly harsh.
Because he did it before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said he was hungry, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A question. Is this one of those situations where once something is reported, it's out of the hands of the person that reported it?
I don't understand what you mean.
Like, for example, if I say, oh, I think John Smith murdered somebody, it's now out of my hands because murder is like, you don't have to press charges for murder.
I don't understand what you're saying, but what's your point?
Did the
What's
church
point
press charges against a man who said, I broke in and stole bread, I broke in and got bread because I was hungry? Because that feels almost biblical.
Like you're saying the church could have dropped the charges.
I don't know. I'm asking.
You're asking.
I just, it feels weird to believe that the church was like, the church that follows the guy that said,
but would you be surprised?
When I was hungry,
would you be surprised
did you feed
if
me?
a church
I'd be
did it?
shocked.
You would?
If East Street Gospel Chapel? Okay. I'd be shocked if East Street Gospel Chapel pressed charges against a man, the least of these, one of the least of these, for literally bread. Because isn't the church supposed to be serving the bread of life? I'm very confused.
Let's quickly get your comments
also,
on this.
Just in general, apparently the only crime in the Bahamas is being poor.
Well,
don't be poor in the Bahamas. Because vagrancy literally comes up to use a jonesa, and it annoys us to see your jonsiness in our face.
Yeah.
Please remove your jonsa self from around us.
This is this is very sad. Very sad here. And,
2 years for $6 worth of bread.
2.5.
2.5 years for $6 worth of bread.
From a church.
I'm not even going to say that it's not annoying, but it's a couple rolls of bread. There are people who have let more bread go stale on their counter. Anyway, whatever.
Some of your messages really quickly. This person says, Dwight, where is the church's compassion? This is just stupid. times 10 that the AG's office did not nolly this. It is clear that this is a homeless man who most likely has a mental condition. Well, we don't know. But 2 years around hardened criminals will only make him a better criminal.
If that.
Boy. Really quickly, caller, good morning.
Morning, Brad. What's up, man?
Hi.
Morning.
So, help me understand. You get 2 years for not armed robbery, not aggravated assault, not stealing by means of employment or fraud, but by stealing bread or something to eat.
2.5.
While 2.5 years. While child molesters and rapists get 7 years.
If that.
And murderers out on bail.
And murderers out on
for 10, 20 years. Triple murderers. 20 years.
You know, let me touch base on the caller who called earlier about the prime minister can only do certain things. You know, people are holding this government accountable. People are protesting this against government because this government, this prime minister in particular, promised us certain things. This prime minister promised us certain things within 100 days. None of those promises have been met so far. So people have a right to complain and to protest, and whichever way they feel, once it's legal and it's peaceful. So I think that caller is kind of, I don't know. We also need to remember this prime minister was the same prime minister that put the sign out with the 400 something murders when they were.
I don't know if he did it, but he was a part of the administration. Sure. Caller, thank you very much. Well, that is quite a story. Hey, you can read it in the National Guardian today. When we come back, this is going to be an interesting transition because we're talking about a homeless shelter that's in the works, and it's going to be great to bring up this issue with them, our guests, coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Open up your eyes. When my loss is your gain, you are toxic. Looking at myself. Judas in the camp and I don't want no help. Wanted to believe the lie. I was so good.
Hi, my AC just went out and I need someone to come fix it.
I'm sorry, we're closed.
Okay, what about tomorrow?
We're only open on Thursday. And we're fully booked.
Have anything next week?
No.
Okay, when can you send someone out?
The 22nd is open.
I'll take it.
Of December 2023.
With the best medical cover for your dollar, we're like an AC technician who isn't too busy for you. CG Atlantic Medical and Life. Good like that.
Introducing the new tortilla lime crunch chicken sandwich from Wendy's. And I have a little bit of everything. Avocado, taco mayo, pickles, and crunchy tortillas on top of a delicious breaded chicken fillet. Yes, try it and add our all-new Dave's Craft lemonade to your combo. Wendy's, different inside and out.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
We are back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Stephen Hanna. And hey, that story we've been talking about is an interesting transition for our next guests, who are part of a wonderful initiative, the Hope City Project, hoping to build a homeless shelter for at least 100 people, right? With Great Commission Ministries. Mavis Johnson-Colley and Lyndon Neeren are with us this morning. Great to have you with us. Good morning. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us, Dwight.
Good to have you with us. All right, so we'll get into the project in just a bit, but your reaction to that story, that is, it's it's something else.
Well, yeah, but my initial reaction, Dwight, is that on its face, it seems to be quite exorbitant and quite frankly unusual. However, undoubtedly, there must be some history surrounding this individual. And of course, it perhaps is not sufficient, though, to justify the term of the imprisonment. But certainly someone like this would need help, and Great Commission Ministries really would be one of the entities that can certainly help him. And we've demonstrated our ability to help people like this before. I took a quick look at the write-up in the newspaper, and it would seem that he has a history of break-ins and perhaps vagrancy, those kinds of things. So he has what appears to be, on the face of it, some mental, social challenges.
Yeah. Just, we were talking about feelings earlier, but driving around New Providence, it seems like we're seeing more and more people every year on the street. I guess we'd say homeless or with mental issues. Is that the reality? Is that what's really happening out there? Do we have greater numbers? Do we know?
Unfortunately, Dwight, we don't have any empirical, statistical evidence, but it's only what you see with the naked eye, and that was one of the reasons that I joined forces with the Great Commission Ministry, which has been around for, just celebrated its 35th anniversary the other day, offering, yeoman services to the community, serving 500 meals per day, operating over the course of its lifespan, some 7 shelters, currently still operating shelters. And, we're here, Mr. Nairn, our director with the mission, myself, a part of the fundraising committee for Hope City, to share with the community, and this is the start of a promotional public awareness effort to share with the community the dire straits we find ourselves in this country when it comes to homelessness. And so the Great Commission Ministry has taken up the mantle with partnerships from various stakeholders to build Hope City, a 100-bed facility which will offer not just shelter for those who are homeless, and it's not permanent shelter, of course, for those who are homeless, but also collateral services to support them, to get them back on their feet. And we are really, this is a work that's going to cost some $3 million, and so we cannot do it alone, and we're looking for the community to partner with us either in kind, in cash. This is a long haul project. This is not a 10-year project, but we feel that we must do something. If we don't, we as individuals and others will feel the wrath of not doing anything. These persons, as I said, as I traversed the streets over the past few years, I'm like, there seems to be more. The social services are aware, and I guess there's only so much social services could do. And so here we are.
Sure. Well, Dwight, I would add to that. I think we should be careful, though, to have regard for the fact that there are the vast majority, in fact, of people who would be categorized as homeless, right? Or who are at risk for homelessness, are people we do not see on the street, okay? We see those people perhaps who are at the bottom of the rung of the ladder, if you will. But what we do at Great Commission Ministries, what we've done historically, is we have served mothers and children who, for one reason or the other, perhaps who've been kicked out by a landlord, and perhaps for not paying their rent, who perhaps might have had some domestic challenges at home. These are the kinds of situations that require attention and that we've been dealing with. And I would say, I think it is important to point out that we found ourselves over the years in situations where we were not able to accommodate everyone needing shelter. And a number of corporate citizens in the hotel sector came to our aid, not in the quantity that we would like, but certainly we've gotten support there. But the bottom line is that it would be significantly more efficient and effective if we are able to bring all of what we're doing under a single roof, hence Hope City, and as Mavis said, a 100-bed facility.
Oh, so correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't have anything like this in the country or in Nassau right now, right? We have maybe halfway houses here and there, but we don't have the typical shelter that you might expect in other cities.
Not as comprehensive as this.
Anticipated.
Yeah.
And this will be the first.
At this magnitude,
for certain.
Comprehensive services, assessment, support for those who are mentally challenged, some disabilities.
Absolutely.
So I don't, from my knowledge, and we would welcome any correction, but from our knowledge, we're not aware. But we also hope during the preparation, construction, and even, thereafter, is to gather data, which, properly informs decisions and quantity and quality of services that you are able to offer. And so we hope that, maybe the University of the Bahamas will partner with us in that regard, so that exactly what's going on out there. And like, Lyndon said, what the needs are. We see, as he said, some aspects of it, but there's the side of it that is not seen, and that is as tragic as what you see on the streets.
All right, so you gave us a little a hint as to what we can expect. Tell us more about it, where it's going to be located, and how long before we can see, before we get to how we can help.
Yeah, Hope City is planned to be constructed on Carmichael Road, just east of the intersection of Gladstone and Carmichael. Construction is expected to commence in early March. By mid-March, we expect groundbreaking to have taken place. And we are very ambitious with respect to this. We are hopeful that within 12 months we'll be completed. But it is a major project, and the reality is, as Mavis suggested, we're the tip of the spear. And, what we are seeking to do today and what we will be seeking to do over the ensuing days is really to encourage Bahamians to be a part of this effort. We will listen to Rotary and Civic Society and just invite
everybody.
them, because really the fact of the matter is that we're all in this together.
Absolutely.
And, one of the things that I say when I see someone who is in need of some kind of care, homeless person or whomever, I say, but for the grace of God, there go I. But that's not enough, right? We gotta lend some support, and we are Great Commission Ministries, the vehicle through which we can come together and lend our support and do marvelous work for our souls individually.
Absolutely,
as we do.
All right. So
because I hear you saying that it's going to be for different persons who may have different issues. Like, do you guys have a idea of what the breakdown is going to be? Because I imagine that you would have different facilities. Different options for different.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have it's a single building that's being constructed, a 2-story building. Ground floor will be reserved for women and their children.
Right.
The upper floor for men exclusively, separate entrances, of course. And then there will also be an area designed for individuals who you perhaps can appreciate this. There will be people, unfortunately, who do not want to spend a night in a place like this. They have gotten used to the streets. They don't want to be bothered. And for those individuals, we'll say, listen, you can come in, get a shower, change your clothes, get something to eat, and you're welcome to stay. and we will do our utmost to encourage them to provide, all kinds of support. But we recognize that there are different situations that we're dealing with.
And then also, okay.
And I think what you're getting at is the services that we mentioned.
Well, yes, that as well. I mean, what he was talking about, because then, when you have persons who are already vulnerable, you don't want to different people have different needs, and you don't want to endanger one group while trying to service another group.
Right.
But I'm also, in terms of the services, don't mind me looking at this computer, ain't nothing on this. All right. The services that would be needed, because some persons are on the street, not because, some of them are there because they have issues with addiction, and some persons have mental health issues, and some persons just, they're in between, they're a little bit on hard times, and they just need a place for a little bit until, so will there be additional,
an assessment?
Not just an assessment, but persons, so when you say, there's food here, there's shower here, are there gonna be healthcare workers there, mental health care workers and stuff?
Right, that's where I thought you were going. Right. So yeah, so when I said there were collateral services, so we will have persons there who can provide not just the assessment, but actually consultative services to assist persons wherever they are, get from there to where they need to be, before they can be integrated.
All right, now, and not to jump, I know that you said it's on Carmichael Road. And whereas I've noticed a growing population of lumpen proletariats around the area, right? But they're all over New Providence. We have issues. We have persons that need this health and this service. Is this, I don't know how to ask it other than say, is the plan to branch out? Is it going to be satellite offices? Or are you guys going to encourage persons to also, say, okay, listen, this is what we're doing, but you guys in the East, they might need something.
That's a fair question. That's a fair question. I mean, fortunately for us, New Providence is relatively small, right? We will, of course, retain the office, the building that we own currently on Wolf Road, next to just east of St. Barnabas. And so people who require services can go there and can be, of course, transported to that location. The other thing, too, as I pointed out, most people, and this is what we have seen over the years, most people who require us to the office, or they call the office, or we become aware of them and we go to them, believe it or not. That happens often. I mean, social services, would you believe, refers people to us as well. So the point is that, no, it's not a walk-in necessarily service, if you will.
And also because of the persons who are there who need help, I imagine it couldn't be a walk-in because that pose a security issue.
But we will have the necessary securities there. Right. With so many people, including children especially, that's going to be absolutely essential.
So what can we do to help?
Well, what we need is, as I said, corporate Bahamas, civil society, individual persons, residents, to just step up for us. We've designed several levels of sponsorship, beginning, of course, with the platinum, $100,000, get you that status, and some other recognition that goes along with that. We have a gold level, we have a silver level. I think it's 20,000, or is that
10,000.
10,000, and we have a silver level, and then we have individuals levels, bronze. We will take $10 from you,
precisely.
Because if 200 people give $10 and another 200, it adds up. There are multiple ways. There'll be multiple ways of giving. We do have an electronic pledge form that we will begin circulating soon.
Just today.
As I said, we will also be taking this plea to fellow media operations, as well as civic groups. There are certain partnerships within certain government agencies that we're still looking to garner, and we have been able to get some support there in that area.
I know you mentioned $3 million. I think you said
It's the cost.
Yep. So,
Yes. So we need plenty of money.
Yeah. How much more do you need? All of it. Okay.
All of it, exactly.
We need plenty more.
Exactly.
Okay.
Dwight, I'm pretty certain that quite a number of your listeners are wondering how they might, get involved very
Absolutely.
specifically. And if you would permit me, I'd like to
Yes.
tell them, people out there, you're listening, you wish to make a contribution to this effort, you may do so by sending donations to Great Commission Ministries Commonwealth Bank account. The number is 100-2632. That's Great Commission Ministries Commonwealth Bank. The account number is 100-2632. I also want to appeal, Dwight, to individuals in offices. All of us, we have co-workers, and there are things that we can do together. Perhaps you can't make a significant contribution together, by yourself rather, but you can come together with co-workers and say, let's make this a project, okay? I understand that they are, pursuing 100 rooms or 100 beds. Perhaps we can be responsible for one of those kind of thing, or perhaps one of the rooms or something of that nature. Or maybe there are some contractors or builders listening to us right now. You can certainly be a part of the team when we start laying blocks, painting or putting on shingles. And perhaps you are a building supply company. We're looking for blocks, we'll be looking for shingles, etc. And the list goes on. So this is really a community effort, and Great Commission Ministries, we are, the conduit through which we can help the less fortunate amongst us.
Wonderful.
And that does not, that includes services such as IT services. This is a digital age, and these are individuals we want to be fully integrated. We would need communication services, and so it's the gamut. We'll think of your house, building your house, whatever you would need in that house.
We will need it.
We will need at
The
Hope
$3
City.
million includes the beds and all of that stuff?
Everything.
Right.
And that's why I said it's a long
Yeah.
term, because even once you've built, you have to maintain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, we're appealing to people like yourself, Dwight.
Yeah.
Maybe, we've observed certain campaigns over the course of the years. Maybe we can partner with media to launch certain
That's an
types of
excellent idea,
campaigns,
Mavis.
and we would be more than happy to be a part of that, and to push and do whatever we need to do to see some results, because this is something I'm committed to. Lyndon is committed to. Bishop Hanschel and his team fully committed
Absolutely.
to. And as I said earlier, if we do this for our people, I think we all benefit.
Yeah, absolutely. Desperately needed, and we know we can't believe we haven't gone here before. It's unbelievable, but finally we're about to do this, and this is great stuff. We would love to help you here at Guardian Radio. We want to partner with you. Even this could be part of, we're trying to promote 242 Day next week, and this could be something that people do, donate to this cause. We appreciate you and the Hanschels for everything they've done, and keep up the great
And
work.
if you need a pledge form and for some reason you don't get it, me, call me or call Lyndon. I'm sure we don't mind.
They will be everywhere by
right,
the
but
weekend.
if you don't see it and if you don't have it, please reach out.
Excellent. All right. Keep us posted on this. And again, we want to help here at Guardian Radio as well. Mavis Johnson, Colleen Linton here. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, Bahamas.
We're going to break for the news and be back with Morning Men Business. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau 86.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Friday, February 17th, 2023. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. And as promised, we're going to be talking about whether a labor shortage in the country is what's contributing to the illegal migration challenges we are facing. A very interesting voice note from Fred Mitchell this morning.
It's a podcast. You put respect on his name.
It's 3 minutes.
The production value.
Whatever podcast.
He's going to start like adding theme music to it because y'all disrespectful. When he have ads.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, we're going to get to that. Just want to quickly, we got some very interesting text messages before we get to that about the hot dog bun thief that we were discussing earlier. And now this is interesting. I'm not sure about it. I don't know. We were asking if there was a possibility for the church to intervene and drop the charges or something, if that was a possibility. They were not sure. But this person is saying, I'm not sure. Anyway, the church did not have an opportunity to drop the charges because it made it unnecessary to appear before the courts. Further, sentencing is centered on the offense of shop breaking, and as a repeat offender thereof, and absolutely nothing with the bread that was stolen. If we continue to sympathize with repeat offenders with what we consider minor crimes, then don't complain about the major crimes. Texter, come on now. This person has a problem, right? This person has a problem. It's not going to get better unless they get the help or possibly the medication that he was seeking to deal with the buns might have been something to get him to have the clarity of mind needed to function in our society.
And it's not like he was stealing the buns to sell them. He didn't even go away anywhere. He literally was still there with the buns.
With the alarm going off.
Right. Like
now that's not.
And then to equate.
Don't complain about the major crimes.
Yeah,
come on.
This is why people are killing. That's why somebody is out on bail for murdering 5 people or 3 people or 8,000 people. These serial killers essentially are out on the streets on bail. And you shouldn't put a homeless man in jail
for 2.5 years.
Not stealing, because the buns are still there. If you wanted it, you guys could have it. For breaking into a church.
Yeah.
For a little piece of bread.
That is annoying. Yes, it is.
It's a nuisance.
Infuriating to have your place broken into repeatedly. Yes, of course. But the individual needs help.
Right. He not only needs food, but he needs actual help. All right. And it's like his repeat offense maybe because his brain is like, well, do this because bread is over there. All right.
They upheld the 2.5-year sentence, but people go and appeal 30 years for multiple murders. This is harsh.
They died
and
before
they drop it down to 15 or 12 because that was kind of harsh. I mean, it's only 3 people you killed. Yeah. What is that about?
And the idea of repeat offense is like there are circumstances. The reason why we have judges and magistrates is because circumstances are different. You need somebody to weigh what is happening. It is not blindly apply the law.
The texter goes on to say you cannot overlook that some damages would have taken place for this repeat offender to gain access. And so add that to the cost of the bread as well. The $6 bread. Okay.
How much damage did this man do?
I mean, again, it's sickening and annoying. Yes,
and
absolutely.
And this goes back to what is always the problem. The problem is our penal system is a penal system. It's about penalizing people. It's not about restoring any justice. That caller there, I understand that they are upset. Sorry, texter is upset, right? Because they feel, everybody.
I would be upset too.
Yeah, everybody hates when somebody breaks in
my house. Yeah,
right. But here's the thing, though. when you take that person to jail, the violence that you now put on them does not fix your house.
Absolutely. They are not going to get the help they need.
Right?
At that prison.
No.
You know that.
But here's the thing. Beyond the fact that him not getting the help at the prison, if you were complaining about, well, what about the lock that he broke to get into the church? Do you think that the police are going to donate a new lock? Do you think that the magistrate is going to be like, oh, and as a part of his prison term, he has to make a new door to put on the church? No. So whatever damage he does remains damaged. There's nothing. No, there's only more violence that is meted out or served out in our system. We're not getting any restorative justice. We're not getting any transformative justice. We're not getting justice. What we're getting is this person punched you in the face, so we are going to punch them in the face. And the thing, and what a lot of people fail to understand is when the Bible says an eye for an eye, it's not saying that you have to take out a person's eye. They're saying that when you punish somebody who's taking out your eye, the furthest that you can go is taking out an eye. That's the marker. That's not, you don't have to punch them in the face.
All right, I don't want to dwell on this too long. I want to get to the issue, but this text, I really don't understand it, and I'm very, oh gosh. So if it is that simple to y'all, him doing that as a repeat offender, but you have a problem with a person that kills 3 and 4 times, though.
Yeah, because eating...
Are you serious, Texter? Yeah, you think that killing 3 and 4 people is the same as stealing bread from... Yeah. Oh, no wonder. No wonder we have this huge murder count, because it's the same thing as just taking bread.
Bread
killing people.
Is worth more than any human
You
life.
look like a hot dog bun anyway. Oh, okay. No wonder. So let me buy some more security. I need to buy some guards too then, because all of you, we're doomed. Oh boy. Okay.
Dwight,
well, that explains it all.
Objects and money are the only thing that
Oh my God. But
Human life doesn't matter.
the person actually said, but you have a problem with the person that kills 3 and 4 times though.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you don't have a problem with that.
You know what it is? It's funny because that's the same illiterate logic that
Oh
a
my God.
3-year-old would have. Be like, I have 3 money.
Well, let's pray they
you
are
have
3.
4. Because like
let's pray this is a child who took their mom's phone and
that's ridiculous.
Prank texting us, because now I'm very afraid. Oh dear. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Wow.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Oh, godly day, this is Stark, along with you and Steve and Dwight.
Morning.
Dwight, you're making a big issue out of that situation. Here it is. A guy went on my roof some time back and took my tennis off my roof. I had it drying, right? I went to the police, and I told the police, at least somebody showed me who had done it. And I went to the police, and I told the police got the tennis back, but it's the same in which who you're speaking of. So you got to, do some investigating before you start elaborating and causing people to feel good or bad about a situation. You need to know what's happening.
That is irrelevant to what we're talking about, Bremen. Absolutely. And you're saying that the guy who stole your tennis is the same man here who stole the hot dog buns?
And the people listening to you, and they know.
That is irrelevant. What does that have to do with anything? But he stole your... Well, okay. Well, you got a bunch of people out to get you. I don't understand what that's about, because every single week... But anyway, let's move on, Stephen. I can't do it.
He got his shoes back, though.
And the church got the hot dog buns. But okay. Well, anyway, send everybody to jail. I'm fine with that. I just don't understand why all the murderers out.
You know what I don't
That's
understand?
what I don't understand.
You know, it's funny, though. I've never heard any of these coy people come and complain about how...
all the people out on bail for murder?
No.
Oh.
They've never... they never say, so much Haitians inside the prison, the Haitians taking up all the space in prison. Like, I'm waiting for because we're gonna throw everybody in prison, right?
Well, like I said,
we need more
I don't have a problem with it.
Criminals.
I don't have a problem with it. I just don't know why murderers out. That's the thing. But the hot dog bun people are in.
Now you know the rules, Dwight. Don't be poor. Mm-hmm. Don't ever be poor.
Okay.
That's a sin and a crime.
Well, so apparently we don't have enough people working here, so illegal immigration is going to be a thing. Just accept it. That's what I got from this voice note from the Minister for Foreign Affairs and the Public Service and the Chairman of the PLP and the Fox Hill MP, Fred Mitchell. Do you get that message from this? Take a listen to Fred Mitchell's voice note, Stephen calls it a podcast, from this morning.
There is a constant battle against an evil spirit in this country. We have to appeal to rationality. The constant drumbeat of fear about the deployment and displacement in our country brings to life the admonition of that long ago U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who told his people in a time of trouble that the only thing they had to fear was fear itself. During the long ago debate on our relationship with CARICOM, we, the PLP, shut down the debate because of the hatred that was being engendered by people who ought to have known better, but they succumbed to prejudice and fear. Since that time, of course, thousands, if not tens of thousands of Americans and Europeans have been granted permanent residence for anteing up $500,000. Now it's raised to $750,000 investment in this country. Their ability to influence the policies in this country is much more weighty than 10,000 Haitians. They have money, and 500,000 or 750,000 or even $1 million is chump change for them to live in the Bahamas. Their money has the ability to influence our policies and laws. We saw during the FNM's time how one letter to Prime Minister Hubert Minnis under the FNM changed the law on real property tax to their advantage. There was no Bobsy Twit, there was no arts and farts out in the streets when this policy would have directly affected the revenue of our country. These permanent residents, some with the right to work, have influence in their home governments, and those home governments are powerful enough to take away our sovereignty, choke off our ability to borrow money, stop us from traveling across the world, but no Bobsy Twits, arts and farts, or broke leg, or the FNM leader trying to stop the flow of those people. Those people continue to come. And as Nurse Naomi Christie, the mother of former Prime Minister Perry Christie, used to say, they have nature's passport, and well, they have money as well. So welcome and walk right into the Bahamas, do what you will. But there's an economic fact staring us in the face. The 400,000 of us, the local population of the Bahamas, Bahamians today, cannot service those permanent residents, those rich people, and the 7 million tourists that come to this country every year. So we have a labor shortage, and the only way it can be solved is by making more babies or immigration. Making babies and growing them up, well, that takes time, so we don't have that. So we need the labor now. So the people who support to supply the shortfall come from the South. They have dark skins, many don't speak English, but, well, enough to get along. The Filipinos do the housekeeping work. Were caught on the boats by immigration, they got here by mistake because they want to go to America. That's the reality, folks. That's the truth. The Bobsy Twits or whipping up hysteria don't focus on these truths. But anyway, let's not let the truth interfere with a good story. But yes, you who claim to be Christian should know this. The truth will set you free. God bless you. God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And on this Friday, it's PLP all the way.
Oh, is it just me? Mm-hmm. Am I hearing that he's saying
Bobsy Twits?
No.
Okay.
We need this. Don't watch nothing until y'all can have enough babies to do the work that's needed.
I don't, cause see, and then that's not the actual issue, but okay.
But is that what he's saying? Is that what you heard?
Yeah.
So it's not just me, because I did listen to it 4:00 in the morning, and I'm out of it. But that is what he said, right? So we have been asking for years, for decades, why these problems continue, why people who are deported come back here within months, and why we've heard people admit that at their construction sites and at their companies, they know folks are undocumented or they suspect folks are undocumented, and nobody does anything. You've wondered why. It's because there is very little will to do anything about it.
And they don't have to do anything. If profit is the only motivation and the only right thing to do, then you owe the cheapest number, or the person who's going to give you a cutback or a kickback if you go with them.
He's not even saying we encourage these folks to come in and we will give them work permits. He's not even saying that. It's just like we need the work to be done, basically. Yeah. And so we all don't have enough babies and don't want to do it. This is how it is. Accept it.
And so here's the thing. Two things are possible to be true. It is possible that Haitians are being used as a scapegoat, and it's possible that his thought process is incorrect, because we have enough persons in this country who are unemployed or underemployed, right, that can be trained, because if you're saying, oh, we need skilled labor, but we'll hire unskilled workers to do it.
Off the boat.
Right. That means then you can train anybody to do these jobs if they're willing to do the job. Now, part of the problem
is that the issue? Are they willing?
No. It's not even because that's the thing, Dwight. Are you willing to leave the job that you have now and go work in the hot sun for $150 a week?
But
are you willing to do that for $150 a week? Of course not. Even if you didn't have this job.
You talking to me?
Yes, I'm talking to Dwight Strachan. Okay.
But there are a lot of Bahamians sitting around under a tree playing dominoes all day long.
But here's the thing. There was a point in time in my life, right, when I was trying to find a job. I had a job where I was getting paid $150 a week. Between catching the bus and buying lunch, I was taking home $10. It didn't make economic sense. It would actually make more sense for me to stay home and write poetry.
But also,
I'm not disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is what Minister Mitchell should be saying or should be addressing is we have a bunch of people who don't have jobs or who are underemployed. One, let us train them in the areas where we know we need them. And two, because they could start working immediately. It could be on the job training. And two, the places, all these contractors who doing these side deals and under the table foolishness where, oh yeah, I could do this job for $50,000, $100,000, and $1,000 because they're trying to pocket everything. That needs to stop. There needs to be inspectors at every level. I wish I had listened to the show with Inland Revenue or when you had on Hakidas, right? Because them do is them. You want to give me my business license because they want to know if the person who owned the building that I live in pay real property tax, right?
They said that's not what they're doing.
No, that's what I can show you the message what they send me through Inland Revenue. That's what they tell me. They can say whatever they want to say, but that ain't what they do it, right? But on the other hand, where are the people going to every single place that is if I see somebody with a pickup truck driving with a bunch of concrete on the back end, there should be inspectors saying, okay, let's follow this person because this person clearly working on some type of site. Where's your permit? Okay, that's one fine there. These people who are working for you, how much are you paying them per day? How much are you paying them per week? How much are you paying them per whatever, right? And there needs to be certain standards that are held. But that's not what's happening. And so, of course, when you have Bahamians saying, I'm not going to go and kill myself because it ain't even going to pay my rent. Because remember, Bahamians living in shanty towns.
Right.
So you see where the circle is. So now all us living inside one room apartment with 11 different people because it doesn't make economic sense to even try. But the minister should be saying, we need to double down on getting our people saying, you know what, I'm going to try something new and get the other set of people, the rich oligarch demons, to pay people the right amount of money.
Yeah. Well, he said everything he shouldn't be saying. Absolutely. This person saying, here, we'll get to that call in a second. You can call and tell us what you think about that. Did you hear something different from what we're hearing? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. This person is saying here, what the heck is Fred into? And he's the Minister of Foreign Affairs. If the FNM don't call for his resignation over this. Another one, what the F is Fred talking about? Fred is really embarrassing us. Well, why is he saying they won't go to the U.S.? The problem is they are here. And if that's the case, well, then the Bahamian Defense Force and the U.S. Coast, well, the U.S. Coast Guard won't do it, but the Defense Force should just escort them straight to the U.S. if that's where they want to go, which we know that is not the case for many. Just say, hey, you want some water?
Also,
keep going, do Northwest.
The Coast Guard does the opposite. The Coast Guard is like,
send them right to the detention center.
Come right here.
Right to Nassau. So, anyway, caller, what say you on this? Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Stephen Mandel here.
Hi.
Morning.
Dwight, it's disheartening to hear a sitting minister of the government have such laissez-faire, lackadaisical norms as Mr. Mitchell has. As a sitting minister of Foreign Affairs and as a former immigration minister, having full understanding of this immigration crisis that we're going through in our country at this time, to have given us such a condescending response. And then again, it ain't to us. And that's what I want to remind you. Like, he wasn't speaking to the Bahamian people. He said BLPs. Speaking to one of the most inept bases in our country at this current time.
Don't have to go there. But okay.
Come on, I got to refresh. If the chairman of their party could go there, Dwight, then Bahamians need to go there and understand how these people do not care about us, man. To even try and turn it political about the F&M this and the F&M that, when you are a sitting minister of foreign affairs on national radio, on whatever media means, running on with a bunch of garbage, to tell us the foolishness he just told us in a voice note, every day this man sits down and do that? Come on, man, Dwight. At some point, we got to say enough is enough and really stand up, because we fall into anything, man, Dwight. It is what it is.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, let's take another call. Caller, good morning. Are you there?
Good morning. Yeah, I like how Stephen mentioned, juxtapose the given like the data on unemployed people before you make such statements and trying to enhance the unemployment situation. But two things, Dwight. It is contemptuous and is it inglorious, right? Now, when you look at what he said, right, he was incorrect about two things, right? Because this highlights the fact that COVID and the biosecurity paradigm is meaningless, because then it's the movements of people. So you have the people coming in, but all of a sudden you restrict people movements here in Nassau, but your people moving on internationally, but then you try to encourage them to come here when you know most of them are coming illegally. Another thing is, he was incorrect about investors, whether blue eye or whatever color, with a briefcase, they don't come here and just walk in and do whatever they want. They sit to the table and run a fable with the FNM or the PLP. So he's actually telling us what is being done, all right? And so they don't do anything. They slip someone something. This is what it is. Why are we trying to play? We don't know about puppet governments, and no one else is well-read and can be spoon-fed garbage. Inglorious for the people. You think about fair, right? I mean, Mr. Mitchell, he has a fear of being himself. As God put us here to do what we had to do, all animals, all plants. And he's very contemptuous towards people. Democracy is what is a threat here. I'm not hearing anybody mention that. Everybody's so polarized and they so wise. And, you know, the state, why would he talk about his fellow Bahamians like that? You don't have children. You don't have a reason to live. You just,
okay, you're going, I don't know, that's not necessary to go down there. I don't know what
I think
you're
you
trying to say
meant
there.
don't talk to us like children, maybe.
That's not what he said. But I hear you. I understand. We're all very perplexed and disappointed with the commentary. Absolutely. Thank you for the call. This texter here says, Fred Mitchell discounts the NASA Guardian's journalistic capabilities on a regular basis, but you all continue to play his childish crap because he's a minister, MP, and chairman. So where is his accountability? Well, first of all, texter, I mean, what's it to you? It doesn't matter what he does or who cares, but don't worry about us. You need to hear what he's saying. And clearly, as he's not being reined in, he's very influential in the administration, the current administration. Nobody is stopping him. And this is clearly how many of them think. So you do need to be paying attention. You might not like it, but pay attention and be afraid. Again, what he said today is quite an eye-opener. And likely, many of you wondering, again, Latin, whatever, we see it now. Because they believe that we have a worker shortage, that this is the best solution because y'all aren't having enough babies, as he says.
And whereas eventually that might be an issue, that is not the present immediate issue.
Which part?
That we don't have a large enough population. That may be an issue down the road, but that's not the issue presently.
Okay. This texter here, sure. Fred is a major part of the problem because he isn't having any kids, but always spewing falsehoods. Oh, that's you think what the okay? That's what the texter said. He's also not doing that. Okay, 52. I get you now. I thought you were trying to say something. I apologize.
What did you think you were trying to say?
No, it's fine. But I mean, no, I get what you're saying. Yes, he's not doing what he is calling for Bahamians to do. 52. I understand now. Thank you.
You owe 52 an apology.
I just did. I apologize, 52. I thought you were really going down a dark road. But
dark road?
Well,
go ahead. Continue.
I can't read these messages, texters, but they're not. Fred Mitchell is, yes, that's, and he doesn't need to be representing us in Parliament Okay. I am not...
Is that what the message said?
I had to edit a lot. So Fred has gone from saying smell your top lip to saying arts and farts. Boy, I tell you. And no, I am not willing to work in the sun for $150 a week. They also say, y'all has listened to Fred voice notes. I don't blame Fred. I blame y'all because you know Fred will say something ridiculous.
Listen, here's the thing, though. You could ignore stuff, but ignoring things doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Because that's the same thing that's happening with all these coy gentlemen right now. All right?
What?
Coy.
I don't think that's how they say it.
Well, how do they say it?
And
I don't
coy
think they can
means
read.
something.
I know.
COI?
And the four coy women, right? They're doing... There was a point in time where everybody's like, look at these lunatics, and ignoring them.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, I show up and people are like arguing with me that he's going to give them $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't think he could do it? And I say, no, it's not economically it's not possible.
Okay. This person says, good morning, Glenn. Mitchell came as close to treason as one could possibly get without needing to be immediately picked up and tried for it. At least the Bahamian people should see it as unpatriotic and despicable. It's very, very strange. Good morning, caller, on the air.
Good morning, Ben.
Hi.
Fred may be echoing the absolute results of this fictional convention they're having here. Because my thing is, if you're going to deploy your military across Haiti, and we still have an influx, boats could lead through your military, then obviously you are assisting that. And I'm wondering what, that, because you didn't answer him, I don't think you know what's really going on. Fred, maybe let you know, look, the Canadian boats could watch them pass and give them water and help them.
I mean, that is humanitarian, so.
Okay. All right. This text here, I hope you and Stephen understood what Fred Mitchell said. Clearly, this government and previous governments have no intention of dealing with illegal immigrants. Also, Mr. Mitchell is slapping up about the rich white folks behind the gated community out west, but he is the very person who goes to dine with them at their estates. Oh, well, yeah, do you have the evidence, Texter? But
Send us your picture and tell us how you got it.
If you want to go there. The minister's comments were condescending, to say the least. Mm-hmm. Someone's asking, where's the what's the voice note? What? Weren't you listening? Thank you, text. I can't read that on there. Of course, Fred Mitchell talks about flatulence way too much. I don't think that's what he was doing. He's calling someone that, which is a little bit different, right? What do you mean, who cares? He's the Minister of Foreign Affairs. No, that's not what I said. Who are you saying that to? You
The other texter was saying...
Oh, so you talk, does it matter to you if he insults us? That's fine. We have no problem with that. That means we're doing what we need to do because we're not here to be your friend. Not here to be your friend. If you have a problem with everything we write about you, well, then that's your problem, right? But that doesn't mean we're going to ignore you because you don't like us, right? But anyway, they're going to say, yeah. So what do you mean, who cares? To the texter, I suspect, he's the Minister of Foreign Affairs. He is telling us quite plainly and brazenly what this government's intent is and what they are actually doing. We should be outraged. Absolutely. 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 Take some more calls. Ah, boy.
You know what it is, right? It's because he's giving the party talking points, which would be fine if he was just the chairman. But the problem is he's not just the chairman. And so that's where it becomes, now it sounds like policy.
The biggest problem is he's the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Public Service.
Right, it sounds like policy.
Right? He's telling you now, don't watch anything. These folks are needed here because we apparently don't have enough people to do the work that needs to be done. The Minister of Public Affairs, Public Service is saying that. And Foreign Affairs. It's very serious. Caller, what say you on this? Good morning.
Dwight, good morning, Stephen.
Hi.
I can't see how anyone would be surprised at the commentary on a daily basis.
I mean, that's different from being surprised at what he said today, though. So you're telling me you're not surprised at what he said today?
I am not at all surprised. Okay, because the level that his mind at times, and if you listen to the Bahamian people, many of them get inflamed by many of the things that he says. But I pay attention to his voice notes and I listen to them. You know why? Because it gives you a daily snapshot of the level and the depth that his mind processes go that can affect every Bahamian citizen in this country. You see, he's not just pandering to those that support the Progressive Liberal Party. His commentary affects every Bahamian in this country and on the global scene because we are Bahamians. You know, the thing here that we have to take in consideration, and this is something that really needs to be taken in consideration. It isn't that the Bahamian young man and the Bahamian people do not want to work. The thing is that the crisis in this country with the standard of living and the cost of living in this country is so high. You talk about $150? $150 in the food store can't hardly buy any groceries. And there's no one who's going to go in the hot sun to work for $150 when we know a job at our standards is roughly around $400. There's nobody going to bite that. That's why we have this influx of persons who come into this country, will work for peanuts, because they do not contribute really to the GDP in terms of financing our various
Jeff,
entities.
Jeff,
they do not do that.
Jeff, but that's the thing, right? That I hear what you're trying to say, but what you're saying is not entirely correct. Because here's taxes do you think that Stephen pays? Me.
You like to ask these questions. Just say what you want to say.
No, because the thing is, like, all of us are paying VAT, right?
Mm-hmm.
I buy a bag of noodles, you buy a bag of noodles, all is paying VAT on that, all right? No, you don't pay VAT on noodles, Dwight?
buy noodles.
Oh, Dwight, sorry, Dwight doesn't buy noodles. He's better than the rest of us. Whole point is, they're being taxed on that level. If they are legitimately employed, right, then NIB has to be paid. That's just a fact of the matter, right? All the services and products that you want in the country, you have to pay tax on them. So they are contributing to our revenue as a country, right? Now you say the GDP. The GDP doesn't mean the money that stays in the country. The GDP means the money that is accrued in the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the reason why the GDP could be, it's supposed to be everybody has $28,000, but the reason why the average Bahamian doesn't have $1,000 in their bank account is because somebody here has $1 billion and they're throwing off the whole entire thing. You can't say Haitians aren't contributing, whether in tax revenue or the GDP. They are. The issue that Fred brought up is incorrect. He is incorrect. But it's possible for not only two things to be right, but two people to be wrong. You are incorrect on that point.
Okay, well, I can accept that. Maybe I need to expand my mindset on that particular point.
Right.
But the point here is like I said, the perception, and I'm not even going to talk about the perception. The general thing right now is I know of one or two entities that don't even pay national insurance.
You do? You need to call.
Have you reported them?
Call NIB
It has
right now.
been reported.
Mm-hmm.
It has been reported. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go on record with this one, and I'm going to leave on this note. You know, when it comes down to the politics in this country and the persons and the influential people, they're allowed to get away with it. Okay? I have many friends right now who actually went to national insurance to go and collect national insurance, to come to find out there's no payments there for them whatsoever. However, they're working on a daily basis. That is cause for alarm. And when you raise the alarm, then they tend to put a blacklist on you and everything because you're reporting something that should not be happening in the country. And this thing is going on. Many people can attest to it.
Okay.
You know, but you'll see how it goes, man.
All right, thanks a lot.
My call.
Thank you very much. We got to go to the break, but this person, as we go to the break, saying, my beloved Bahamians, Dwight and Stephen, if Bahamian women, example, my mom, my cousins, and neighbors can work as maids and janitresses in hotels, on cruise ships, and various other places in and around the Bahamas, why do we need Filipinos and or any other foreigners as maids and janitresses? Please have mercy on Bahamian women. And not just women, men can do those as well, right? Anybody can be employed too. They are humans too. Hey, if you're willing to do it, I don't see what the issue is, right? Because
the issue is very simple. Are these people being fairly compensated for the work that we're asking them to do? Because there's a whole different thing where if somebody say, Stephen, come work in Dubai for $1 million a year, yeah, I'll go. Even if the person, the Emirati, would get paid $4 million if he did the job. I don't care if I get cut because I know $1 million back home in the Bahamas is a lot of money. And so it's like, that's what's happening. It's exploitation of labor, but y'all don't want to be socialists. So cool.
Okay.
Workers of the world.
We don't want to be socialist, and apparently we don't want to be decent either.
No,
because
well, it's the same thing. Now you're just repeating yourself. Socialism is
Let's take a
decent.
break. I may have to play the voice note again because people are asking, what did he say? I missed it. Okay, so we will see. I don't know if I can take it again. Can we take it again?
Fit it in.
We'll be back. Stay with us.
You know what going down tomorrow?
No, babe, what happening?
Joe bringing these knives to school. He could do Junior. He fool with Joe girl.
Mother's sick. And you know Junior don't back down for nothing. So that means you got a big fight tomorrow.
So whose side you want?
Side? I trying to stay in school, not Simpson Pen. We gotta tell somebody about this fight.
Tell somebody? I ain't no snitch. I mean cool, you know.
Wait, if you so cool, then you need to stay in school and stay out of the fight.
Yeah, but if I don't hang on Joe's side, him and these boys coming for me next.
All right, so we definitely gotta tell somebody. We gotta prevent the fight.
What I say, I don't want nobody call me snitch.
We could just call Crime Stoppers. You could report what you know, and nobody gotta know it's you.
So how do I avoid?
All you gotta do is call them, or you text them through the Crack Crime Bahamas app, and nobody can know it's you.
Then the police come looking for me for more info, and when they finish with them, Joe them coming looking for me?
When you call Crime Stoppers, the call go directly to Miami, and they don't ask nothing about you. Then you can get the pen from them, and they can claim a reward later using that same pen.
Plus, everything's scrambled, so nobody can read what you said.
Call 328-8477 from Nassau or 242-300-8477 from the Family Islands.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It's time for your morning blend business report brought to you by CFAL, noting that the evolution of tax transparency, and international and domestic tax reform and reporting is only becoming more imposing and more intimidating and more confusing. Attorney General Ryan Pinder said the Bahamas can no longer be a non-reciprocal participant in the Common Reporting Standard, which calls on jurisdictions to obtain information from their financial institutions and automatically exchange that information with other jurisdictions on an annual basis. He was addressing the Bahamas Financial Services Board Industry Development Series entitled Tax Enforcement Without Borders. You can read more about his comments in today's Guardian Business section. Challenger Energy Group releasing its 2023 strategy and work program update, revealing yesterday that the company, formerly called Bahamas Petroleum Company, remains locked in negotiations with the government on the renewal of the company's licenses for another multi-year exploration period. The company noted in its update that it's seeking alternative means of achieving value from its investment in the Bahamas, which includes the drilling of an exploratory well in the southern Bahamas in the beginning of 2021. The company continues to expand its exploration for hydrocarbons in the Caribbean and South America, but is yet to have much success in the Bahamas in search of oil, and even less success gaining support for its drilling efforts in the country. The Food and Agricultural Organization of the United Nations is helping the Bahamas to qualify for $10 million in funding for agricultural purposes. That's according to the Bahamas' ambassador to the FAO, Winston Pinnock. Pinnock, along with the FAO Assistant Director General and other executives, holding a press conference on the sidelines of the 44th regular meeting of CARICOM. Pinnock explained that the Bahamas government is doing all it can to reduce imports as it seeks to meet the goal of 25% import substitution by 2025 as set by CARICOM. And Canoe Bahamas getting set to expand to 4 other nations in the region, according to co-founder and chairman Nicholas Reese, noting that this is the perfect opportunity with CARICOM here to advance deeper discussions on how Bahamian businesses can benefit from regional expansion. Read more on that in today's Guardian Business section. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Thursday, your market movers. Cable Bahamas moving 7,600 shares, closing down 17 cents to $4.09. Colina Holdings moving 300, unchanged at $8.50. Commonwealth Bank moving 16,640, unchanged at $3.58. Commonwealth Brewery moving 600, closing at $10.23, unchanged. Consolidated Water up 7 cents, closing at $3.07. And Emir Incorporated closing at $9.93, unchanged. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,669.79, down 3.99. That's your Market Watch, and that is your Morning Business Report, brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. We are back here with Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. All right, so some people have missed it. I think we'll play it again. We'll cut it before it gets to the PLP all the way now. But anyway, so I mean, cause
what's important?
You know, as you picture it. But here we go. Fred Mitchell. Here's his voice note this morning.
There is a constant battle against an evil spirit in this country. We have no other course but to appeal to rationality. The constant drumbeat of fear about the deployment and displacement in our country brings to life the admonition of that long ago U.S. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who told his people in a time of trouble that the only thing they had to fear was fear itself. During the long ago debate on our relationship with CARICOM, we, the PLP, shut down the debate because of the hatred that was being engendered by people who ought to have known better, but they succumbed to prejudice and fear. Since that time, of course, thousands, if not tens of thousands of Americans and Europeans have been granted permanent residence for anteing up $500,000 and $50,000 investment in this country. Their ability to influence the policies in this country is much more weighty than 10,000 Haitians. They have money, and 500,000 or 750,000 or even $1 million is chump change for them to live in the Bahamas. Their money has the ability to influence our policies and laws. We saw during the FNM's time how one letter to Prime Minister Hubert Minnis under the FNM changed the law on real property tax to their advantage out there in Life at Key. There was no Bobsy Twit, there was no arts and farts out in the streets when this policy would have directly affected the revenue of our country. These permanent residents, some with the right to work, have influence in their home governments, and those home governments are powerful enough to take away our sovereignty, choke off our ability to borrow money, stop us from traveling across the world, but no Bobsy Twits, arts and farts, or broke leg, or the FNM leader trying to stop the flow of those people. Those people continue to come. And as Nurse Naomi Christie, the mother of former Prime Minister Perry Christie, used to say, they have nature's passport and we as well. So welcome and walk right into the Bahamas, do what you will. But there's an economic fact staring us in the face. The 400,000 of us, the local population of the Bahamas, Bahamians, today, cannot service those permanent residents, those rich people, and the 7 million tourists that come to this country every year. So we have a labor shortage, and the only way it can be solved is by making more babies or immigration. Making babies and growing them up, well, that takes time, so we don't have that. So we need the labor now. So the people who support to supply the shortfall come from the South. They have dark skins, many don't speak English, but, well, enough to get along. The Filipinos do the housekeeping work. The fact is, the folks who were caught on the boats by immigration, they got here by mistake because they want to go to America. That's the reality, folks. That's the truth. The Bobsy twits or whipping up hysteria don't focus on these truths. But anyway, let's not let the truth interfere with a good story. But yes, you who claim to be Christian should know this. God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Okay.
And it's?
Huh?
Sorry. No.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Can we squeeze that in really quick? Is there somebody there? Yeah, let's do that really quickly. Are you there, caller? Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Stephen.
Yeah, really quickly. What do you make of that?
I mean, is this a real place we live in?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure anymore.
Listen, Mr. Minister, those individuals that he's speaking about, they were invited to come, right? They didn't come in here by boat illegally.
They did come in by boat.
And the other thing,
some of them didn't get their permit.
well, Mr. Mitchell is a part of the cabinet, and the cabinet is supposed to have collective responsibility.
Right.
Is he speaking?
Well,
is
we can
you
only
of the
assume.
cabinet?
We have to assume this. We have to assume
the
this.
Prime Minister, he need to come in either to
Yes.
refute this or
Today. Immediately.
This is insanity. This is madness.
Yeah.
Look like Fred Mitchell running this PLP party in this government by himself.
Well,
Man,
if they don't rebuke this, he doesn't speak for us. That is not the policy of the government.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
man. And
we're in
Prime
trouble.
Minister, if you supposed to be the leader of your government, the leader of this country, you need to come out and speak now, or like the old people say, it ain't long now.
Yeah. Thank you very much. If we don't hear anything, you know that means that is the policy of the government of the Bahamas. We need them. Y'all shut up about it until y'all have enough babies to work for the people. Don't watch nothing. This text here, this is ridiculous. This person, great show as usual, but I interject. We hire the Filipinos for maids because they have great attitudes and they don't talk your business and they don't teeth and they also are perfect eye candy. I won't lie. Oh, God.
Yeah,
okay.
That person is problematic at every level.
Capitalism forever, socialism never. That's a text, not from me, Stephen. And this person here, this is why you need to be afraid. Listen, texter, listen. Anyway, as a Bahamian, I am disgusted that Guardian would even play Fred Mitchell for the public. We Bahamians don't care about Fred. You need to. You need to hear that. Obviously, this is the policy of this administration and probably previous administrations. This is why the shanty towns are everywhere. This is why there are so many people who are undocumented, getting deported, but coming back, getting work permits, getting kicked out, coming right back. On and over, we got tons of examples. This is ridiculous. If we don't hear from the government today, this is clearly their policy.
I feel like you can give them till Monday.
No. There will be 3 more voice notes until then. We need to hear that today. I don't care how busy you are with CARICOM today. Answer this today. Is that the policy of this government? That we need them because we don't have enough workers? We need to hear it today. We need to hear it today. If the weekend comes, you know what that means. So
I think give them until Tuesday. That's when cabinet meets.
it's far too late. It's far too late. Send a response, 2 sentences. Fred Mitchell today was not speaking for the government of the Bahamas, and the Davis administration. Those are his personal views, and we do not endorse those or something like that. Bam. Simple. I just said it for you. Is that what it is? If we don't hear anything, then you know what's going on, and the shanty towns will continue.
I mean, the shanty town is a definition. You know this.
It's all related. You just said it,
related.
Stephen.
It is related.
You come in here and you're getting less than what's really required to live in the country, and so you have to live in the bush.
Yeah.
Because you can't rent a place.
Not with that.
No.
Not what you're getting paid.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And don't provide housing for their workers.
Which they should. Honestly.
So obviously this is what we want.
Dwight, the owner should provide a house for you as a Bahamian who have a house. They should be paying my mortgage because the thing is, I getting paid.
They hire the
1/8
fancy fancy people who are making 6-7 figures and provide them with a car.
Right.
They give.
I put all his children through school and give his wife something to do.
Sorry that we're leaving you on such a sour note, but everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday
She'll bring them out.
with more Morning Blend business. We're waiting for the statement, Davis administration.
You wanted it before you left?
It would be great.
That's not gonna happen.
You have 1 o'clock would be good.
The deadline.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.